Hello everyone, it's Arlina from Yarnalina, and today we're going to be making a Crochet Rosea color block sweater. So first you're going to need a 5mm crochet hook, and Yarn Inspirations Bernat Bundle Up yarn in the color Marshmallow. And you're also going to need the same Bernat Bundle Up yarn in the color Posy. And you're also going to need a yarn needle, scissors, and measuring tape. So without further ado, let's get started. First, we're going to start with the bottom ribbing portion of the sweater. So this is going to be part of the body panels. So first, you're going to start with a slip knot. Then you're going to chain however long you want your ribbing to be, the width of the ribbing. So I'm going to chain 12. Now you have the width of your ribbing done, you're now going to half double crochet across the chain. So into the second chain from a hook, you're going to half double crochet. Yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through. 3 loops on the hook, you're going to yarn over and pull through all 3. And you're going to repeat that all across the foundation chain. After you're done with finishing the foundation chain of half double crochets, you're going to chain 2 and turn your work. And now you're going to work into the back loop to form the ribbing. So you're going to have back loop half double crochets all across to build up the ribbing. So working into the back loop. This is the back loop and this is the front loop. And now you're going to continue working on into the back loops. Then you're going to repeat this process of row 2 all around to build up the length of the ribbing. For my size small, I have a total of 40 rows to build up the ribbing. For whatever size you want your sweater to be, make sure to check the written pattern down below to know what amount of rows that you should have. So now we're going to move on to the body piece. So we're going to change into the color pink. So you would then make a slip knot and chain 1 to secure the color change. You're going to insert your hook and you're going to pull it through the loop. For this sweater, we're going to work lengthwise for the ribbing effect of the pink sweater base. So you're going to chain however amount of, basically the length of your body. So make sure to check the written pattern down in the description below to know what amount of chains that you should have for your sweater. For my size, I'm going to have 68 chains for a size small. Now that you're done with the length of the sweater that you want, you're now going to start off with half double crochets all across. So working into the third chain from a hook. So 1, 2, 3. You're going to insert your hook and half double crochet all across. After you're done half double crocheting across, you're going to snip the white yarn. Then you're going to have 3 single crochets along the ribbing to secure the body panel piece to the ribbing. There are no rules as to how you should single crochet on to the ribbing. It is merely just a number, and you can choose whichever stitch hole that you should single crochet into. 1, 2, so after you have 1, 2, 3 single crochets, you're going to turn your work. And now we're going to start working our front bottom loop half double crochets. Then to make your front bottom loop half double crochets, you're now going to work into the bottom loop. But before you work into the chain, remember to watch out for the 3 single crochets. So don't work into this stitch, even though it can be tempting as it looks like it's next, but it's actually part of the single crochet that you just connected the ribbing with. So you're going to work into 1, 2, 3, you're going to work into this stitch. So to make your front bottom loop half double crochet, you're going to work into the front bottom loop. So the front bottom loop is the loop here. So the side facing you is this V. You're going to work into the loop underneath of the V. So this is the V, you're going to work into this stitch. So the bottom V, you're going to work this stitch all across repeatedly while chaining 2 at the edge to turn your row. Then you're going to continue building your front bottom loop half double crochets while having 3 single crochets to connect the ribbing to the pink body panel piece. And I will meet you back until we are done with around halfway, where we're going to change the number of stitches to make the neck hole. So I'll meet you back when we're done with halfway done with our body panel piece. To form the neckline of your front panel, you're going to stop here at the number of rows that you should have that will fall on your shoulders. For my size, I had 17 rows, and whatever size that you choose to have, you'll have a certain amount of rows, which will be linked in the description below on the written pattern. So I stop here with 18 stitches left over, which is how wide I want my neckline to be. And then you're just going to continue on and build a number of rows here to form the length of your neckline. So you're simply going to continue to work and build up the rows. After you build up the number of rows for your neckline, for my size, I had 23 rows. So now you're going to chain the amount of stitches that you skipped here. So for my size, I would chain 18. So then after you chained the panel that will fall on your shoulder to finish your front panel. So you're going to first half double crochet all across, starting in the second chain from the loop. After you're done half double crocheting across, you're simply going to repeat as normal. So you're going to repeat the pattern all across until the end of the front panel here. So like this size, and you'll be done with your front panel. After you're done with the front panel, you're going to end off with a slip stitch. And after you snip the yarn, you're going to pull it through. Then you're going to be done with your front panel. And after you're done with the front panel, the back panel is incredibly similar, as you will have the same amount of rows here, except for the neckline. You're going to only have 10 stitches left here. So you're going to continue while skipping these 10 stitches to form the neckline. Since later on we'll make a collar to form all around the entire neck hole of the sweater. So we're going to continue on as the number of rows. As we had 23 rows for the front panel, you're going to have 23 rows as well for the back panel to form the neckline. For the back panel, after you're done with the neckline, you're going to chain 10 or however amount of stitches that you skipped here. So for whatever amount of stitches that you skipped here will be referenced in your size pattern linked in the description below. Then after you chained your amount of chains, you're going to half double crochet back. So after you reach the end, you're going to front bottom loop half double crochet all across and repeat the process as you did for this side. And after you build it the other side of the shoulder panel and reach the end, you're going to be done with your back panel. After you reach the end for the back panel, you're going to single crochet it shut, or slip stitch, both is fine, then pull it off. And after you weave in the ends, you're going to be done with your back panel. And now let's move on to the sleeves. To make the cuffs of the sleeves, we're going to start with a slip knot. Then you're going to chain 13. Then working to a third chain from a hook, you're going to half double crochet across. Then you're going to chain 2 and work into the back loop and work all across of back loop half double crochets. And you're going to repeat this process of row 2 of working into the back loop repeatedly to build up the length of your collar. So for my size, I'll have 18 rows. After you're done with the cuff of the sleeve, you're going to change colors. So make a slip knot and a new color. Then you're going to pull it through and chain 2. Then you're going to work increase and half double crochet all across this entire length of the collar. So you're simply going to have half double crochet increases and a half double crochet stitch all across. There is no specific stitch hole for you to insert your hook into, so you're just going to have to eyeball the amount of increase and 1 half double crochet all across. After you're done making the row of an increase and 1/2 double crochet all across, you're going to chain 2 and front bottom loop, 1/2 double crochet all across. So the same pattern as you did with the body panels. After you're done with the row of the front bottom loop 1/2 double crochets all across, after the increased row, you're going to chain 2, turn your work, then you're going to have a front bottom loop 1/2 double crochet increase and a 1/2 double crochet of the front bottom loop 1/2 double crochet as well. So essentially the same as how you started here for the cuffs, except in the front bottom loop 1/2 double crochet format. So increase and a stitch, and you're going to repeat this pattern all across. After you're done with the increased row, you're going to chain 2, turn your work, then you're going to work 5 rows of front bottom loop 1/2 double crochets. So 5 rows of these. After you reached 5 rows of front bottom loop 1/2 double crochets, or however amount of rows that you should have for your size, you're going to chain 2, then you're going to start an increase and 2 front bottom loop 1/2 double crochets. So 2 1/2 double crochets in 1, increase, 1 and 2, and you're going to repeat this pattern all across. After you finished your row of an increase and 2 front bottom loop 1/2 double crochets, you're going to move on to another section of 5 rows. So however amount of rows that you had here for the difference between the increase and 2 front bottom loop 1/2 double crochets and the other increased row here, that amount of rows you're going to replicate here as well. So for me, for my size, I will have 5 rows. So chain 2 and turn your work. Then you're going to repeat the process of front bottom loop 1/2 double crochets all across for a number of rows, to which you can reference in the free written pattern linked in the description below. After you're done making 5 rows, or however amount of rows that you have after your increase and 2 front bottom loop 1/2 double crochets, you're going to chain 2 and turn your work. And now we're going to work on an increase and 3 front bottom loop 1/2 double crochets. So you're going to make an increase, one, 2, and 3. And you're going to repeat this pattern all across. After you're done with a row of an increase and 3 front bottom loop half double crochets, you're now going to chain and repeatedly have normal rows as so, without any increases all across, to build up the number of rows or the length that you want your sleeve to be. The increases are meant to create a puffy sleeve effect. So you're going to continue building up the number of rows to form the length of your sleeve. And you're going to do this 2 times to have 2 sleeves for your sweater. And I'll meet you back when I have both sleeves done. After you build up some rows from your increases to make it into a puffy sleeve, we're going to end it off with cutting off a long tail to sew it all together. I've made this one with some extra color differences, but now you would make another sleeve to have 2 sleeves for your sweater. The process is relatively simple. After you sew together the shoulder panels, then sewing the sleeves together, then connecting it to the body panel and sewing it down at the sides, then you repeat the process on the other side. So I'll meet you back after we're done assembling and sewing together all the pieces, then coming back together to work on the neck hole. After you sew together the sleeves and the side seams, we're going to start working on the neck collar. You're first going to start with a slip knot and chain 1 for extra support. Then you're going to loop it through a corner at the neck hole. So here. Then you're going to chain 8. After you chain 8, you're going to half double crochet all across, starting from the second chain from the hook. After you're done with your half double crochets, you're now going to have 3 slip stitch across the body piece to secure the collar onto the body piece. So you're going to slip stitch, so insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, 2 loops on the hook. You're going to pull through the first loop into the second, and you're going to do that 3 times. So 1, 2, and 3. And then you're going to turn your work and back loop half double crochet. Then you're going to chain 2, turn your work, and repeat the process of a half back loop half double crochet all across, and having 3 slip stitches to the body piece whenever you meet the edge to secure the collar onto the sweater itself. So 1, 2, and 3. And then you're going to repeat this process all around the entire neck hole. For the collar, I've changed from a 5mm to a 4mm and instead chained 11, but a 5mm hook would work just as well, but I chose to change to a 4mm because I wanted it to look a bit snugger, though the process is still exactly the same. So after you reach the entire neck hole, you would first cut the yarn, then you would slip it off, and you would sew this together or slip stitch this together. And this is how your Crochet Rosea color block sweater should turn out like. Its free written pattern is linked in the description below on the Yarnalina blog. And make sure to comment down below what color you chose to make your sweater. And remember to subscribe for more crochet content as this. And I'll see you next time.